degradation study. As you're aware, in order to make any changes in operations at any wastewater treatment facility, whether it's a wastewater plant or a lagoon, which is basically a treatment facility, you have to have on the stream that you discharge into an anti-degradation study done. Larkin had started that quite a while back, and it's finished. Basically what it says is this lagoon is not going to meet the effluent limits that's going to be imposed upon that stream by EPA DNR. So the bottom line is basically around 2014 you're going to have to put disinfection in. There's ways to go about that, but the bottom line is you're going to have to put in a plant somewhere. Either you put a new plant in, like it was proposed before there, where you pump all that water to the southeast, and you'll have to upgrade that plant in order to get it to handle the flow. You have to understand, leaving it like it is an option for right now, but it's not going to fly here in just a few years. So what I'd ask Mike about, when I talked to Larkin, was to have maybe Clark Thompson come before the council, and he'll explain it, what the study actually means in greater detail, and he can answer some of your questions. But bottom line is that lagoon is not going to be able to meet the effluent limits. And according to this study, takes into consideration whether or not you can pay it. And basically the study says you can pay it.
Paul, I got a question for you. If these lagoons are so obsolete and so bad, how come Maid City put in lagoons when they put in their sewer system just a few years ago?
Well, see, the DNR was approving lagoons not real far down, not many years ago. They'll still tell you that a lagoon is a viable part, but the thing is, they're going to change the effluent limits of that you can put it out, and your lagoons just can't do it. The other thing that you have, I know money's an issue everywhere, but you've got a lagoon that's full. In other words, you can't put anything else on it. You've got two lagoons that way, and it's basically it's a no-win situation for the city, and I personally don't think that we've got a leg to stand on whenever we start talking to DNR. I mean, we can argue with them and discuss things and all, but the bottom line is going to come. They're saying this is what the study showed, this is what you have to do. This is the time that you've got to get it done in.
Well, you know, we got to pay for a treatment plant. I'm not sure the people of Odessa can pay for another treatment plant.
I know. I'm the bearer of bad news, and I understand. And don't get me wrong. The state of Missouri has been told that on numerous occasions. And of course, if you could show a hardship case, then they might change your effluent limits or keep you out of enforcement. We couldn't show that. We tried to show that.
Well, I know on the treatment plant that we have today, I asked them in Jeff City, what if we can't pass the bond issues for a new plant? And they said they would work with us.
Well, I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know either, you know.
Because EPA is gonna be pushing DNR, that's who's pushing it now. EPA.
I know in a perfect world, that would probably be the best thing to have, is treatment plants, but we gotta be able to afford that.
They can only help us to a certain extent, and I'm not saying that they won't try to help us, but the bottom line is, something's gotta give, and I'm just telling you what the anti-degradation study showed. That lagoon's not gonna be able to meet it, and we don't have very many years to do something like that. Now for a good vote. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
The board have any questions on that?
When would you propose asking Mark Thompson to present that information to us?
The
What we
sooner
talking-
the better, as far as I'm concerned, because, and I feel sorry for you, but you're gonna have to make some tough decisions.
I would like to hear from him as soon as possible, actually.
And the sooner that we
Get that on our
decide,
agenda.
we develop a plan of action and we proceed, the better off the city will be.
A lot of our ability to get grants in these areas are wholly dependent on what our current rates are. And there's been some discussion that our rates aren't where they should be. And what DNR and the state look at when they're looking at grants in a lot of ways is that they look at it, if our rates aren't where they think they should be, then we're not helping ourselves out to get them. So they're more than likely not going to give us the money to help us if we're not already trying to cover some of the cost ourselves.
And you say they're not where they should be. They believe
Well,
they should be higher.
In some areas, yes. In sewer for sure. Our sewer rates are low. We've had a study that was done. When was that study done? 08 or?
We went through that on the plant we have now. They said our rates was extremely low and we couldn't get any additional grants.
See, what
I'm
hurts
sorry,
is
it seems 2 years ago they said we were high. We're on the high end of the state. So I don't understand this. Because the same people that you're talking about reported 2 years ago our rates were on the high end of the state. So now I'm having a little bit of trouble understanding.
Was that sewer or was that power? Was that just sewer?
Yes, that was on sewer. That's exactly what it was on. Because we were looking at the same issue, and they said your rates are even above. Whenever they came with Missouri Utility Alliance for MPU.
Okay.
Yeah, when they came here and reported to us, they explained to us in the state of Missouri our rates were on the high end. We did that adjustment whenever we put the plant in, and that put us on the high end at that time. Now, if something has happened in the last 2 years, which it could have, I'm not saying it didn't, but 2 years ago we were high.